I'm Greg Jarbo. We're here at SES London, day 2, and I'm with Mike Green. Mike, that was the microphone. You're supposed to say something at that point.
Hey, Greg, good to see you.
Well, that was really good. That was really good. Now, Mike, there's some rumor afoot that you've had something to do with this show?
Well, strangely enough, I saw my photograph and I thought, well, it's obviously me. I must be having something to do with it. No, strangely enough, I was absolutely delighted. Last year, Kevin Ryan and I worked quite a lot together, you know. And Kevin, as you know, was appointed as Global Director of Content, blah, 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 blah. Made some changes to the show, and he just approached me and said, would you be keen on, you know, supporting me, coming on as co-chair for the London show? And how could I refuse?
So you've actually played a speaking role here. You're not just behind the scenes. You've been up on the stage talking about universal search and some other feisty topics.
Yeah, one of the things that I discovered is when he said co-chair, he didn't say that means work, by the way. You know, you have to do stuff. So not just helping out in the back, I mean, obviously a lot of moderating, but sitting on the panels is something I always enjoy because I've always got my opinion like everybody else, and you want to get it out there. The Orion panels we did for the first time in Chicago worked so well in Chicago that obviously we thought we'd repeat them here, but with a slightly different slant. So we did the search analytics panel, which was great. I wasn't on that one. Kevin moderated, but we were able to bring in great guys like Jim Stern, Jeffrey Eisenberg, Brian Clifton. You know, I mean, the panel was absolutely great. But we'd already done the Orion panel for blended search, universal search in Chicago, and it was so successful we thought we'd repeat that again. So we did that yesterday, and it was a blast, you know. It was very, very good.
So in this morning's panel, we tread on sort of a more topical issue, and that's the Microsoft unsolicited bid for Yahoo and what will happen next. Tell us a little bit about what took place.
Well, that's interesting, the session, because most of the people that you see talking about it, and some of the stuff that Kevin started with this morning was looking at like the financial analysts of what it would mean if Microsoft and Yahoo do or don't do this thing. But what we wanted to do with this panel was take a look at it from an industry agency point of view and say, what does it actually mean to us, you know, with, you know, out in the trenches doing online marketing. And we had great representation. We had Erica Schmidt, who's with iProspect, part of Isobar. You know, she works with Frederick Marchini. She's opened offices all over the world, so she was able to give a great impression of, you know, what difference would it make here, but then again, what difference would it make in China, because they don't have Google there, kind of thing. Looking at the, you know, and in fact made a very valid point towards the end of the session when Kevin asked, you know, who's going to be next. I've always said, with Google, it's like saying who's going to be the next Beatles. It's never going to happen. But when Erica said Baidu, well, maybe, I don't know, because that's a big deal. So yes, we did get a kind of good overview from great industry people with the larger agencies who can give a better idea about how it really affects them in terms of does it make it better for our clients.
So after the day is over, people tend to break up and head to places called pubs, or there's some other local English colloquialism for it, I'm sure. But it seems that the networking is actually even more valuable sometimes in the sessions.
It's this very primitive thing of going to the pub. I know we just can't get it out of our system. Well, one of the things about search engine strategies is it's always been the networking thing. You know, I mean, you get to hang with the vendors, you speak to your competitors, you meet potential new customers. I mean, that's as important as sitting in the sessions. I mean, the sessions are great, you can learn a lot. But as people often say, you might learn a bit more if you're sitting with a pint of beer in the pub later on. And particularly if your competitor's sitting behind you and doesn't realize you're sitting there, you know. So the networking aspect of it, and of course we get support from the vendors. There are always those dinners going on. I mean, I wasn't able to make dinner last night, unfortunately. I had to bail out for the one night, but I missed it. Frederick Marchini, who graced us with his presence yesterday. Frederick hasn't spoken here for ages, but he and I go back a long time, so I was able to force him into it, and we had dinner planned last night. So apparently 20 people went out to dinner. Oh, sorry, that was 19 now, and that was the only guy who didn't make it. But they had a blast, so absolutely, yeah, the networking side. And you get to meet great old friends. I mean, if you think about it, the only time you and I get to see each other is at a conference. Do we not have a life, Greg? Do we not do something else?
On that note, I think we're going to call this interview completed. We've reached some kind of denouement. But besides, the pubs are calling, I think.
Absolutely.
So day 2 here at SES London. Stay tuned. There's more to come.